Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we review the movie Pinocchio, and we have hot takes like Pinocchio is how you do adaptions.
Do we need more adaptions of poop?
Sup, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week we discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is a show. Every week we put on a show called Peliculas with the Bros. If you like podcasts that talk about movies, then you're in the right place. You can watch us on YouTube. Look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. Subscribe, leave a comment. We're also on any podcast platform. So if you listen to podcasts and you listen to podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to podcasts, we should be there. Look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. Don't lick us up. Look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. Subscribe, and we would greatly appreciate it. Also, before we get into Pinocchio, let us know what you think about Pinocchio, this graham cracker of a movie.
Graham cracker of a movie.
But Ivan, are you ready to go into the woods, chop up some wood, cook it up, make it toasty? I would assume when you're making a puppet, you have to kind of cook the wood to make it the correct.
I don't believe that.
Almost like a toastiness to it. You know?
Gotta bake it.
Oh, maybe that's at the end, like when you want to give it a clean
sheen.
patina or something.
I don't think much, generally.
Yeah, that's quite true. Ivan, we're here to talk about Pinocchio. Written by Patrick McHale and Guillermo Del Toro, and directed by Mark Gustafson and Guillermo Del Toro. It's actually a co-directing gig on this one. And
Makes sense.
We can talk about that in a bit. But the premise of this movie, Geppetto. Oh, yes, that Geppetto. An old man in 1930s Italy loses his son to war. Distraught and depressed, one night with Geppetto is wasted off. Wait, what? One night, Geppetto is wasted off his rocker, and he decides, and he decides to create a wooden puppet to bring back his lovely son, who I forgot his name. Now it's just lost on me.
Pablito.
What?
Pablito.
And he wants to fill the hole in his heart, and in his life. And the puppet comes to life when a magical sprite grants it life, and the name, Pinocchio. With the cast of Ewan McGregor as Sebastian J. Cricket, David Bradley as Geppetto, Gregory Mann as Pinocchio, Ron Perlman as Podesta, Tilda Swinton as the wood sprite and death, Christopher Waltz, my boy, as Count Volpe, and Kate Blanchett as Spazzatura, which I love that name. Also, Tom Kenny, I have here, who voiced a bunch of characters on SpongeBob SquarePants, is doing bit parts here. Benito Mussolini and the Sea Captain, of course.
Classic.
Evan, this is the second movie we've discussed on this said podcast regarding Guillermo del Toro. Our first one was
Nightmare Alley,
which was like a year ago now, I think, or like in the beginning of January.
Yeah.
And when we talked about that movie, we talked about our boy Del Toro's style. And funny enough, at that time, I realized I haven't watched too many of his movies. I saw Pacific Rim. Obviously, we talked about Nightmare Alley, so I saw that. Pan's Labyrinth. But I didn't go into the deep cuts as much. Since then, I have watched Kronos, his first movie. What about you? Any movies that come off your tip-top brain that you've watched?
Less than what you've watched, but same ones.
I also recently saw Crimson Peak.
Didn't see.
But it's interesting when you look at his filmography that he has the same kind of I would say tone that he's trying to go for.
Dark.
And also the kind of movie he makes is kind of like an homage to uh H.P. Lovecraft type of stuff.
A little fairy tale like.
Little like dark fairy tales, right?
Yeah.
And usually set in an older time, not the current time. The one exception though is Pacific Rim.
That's a future time.
That's a future time, and I was looking into it, and I think the reason he did it was he was trying to do a different movie with the same writer, but it fell through. And the writer's like, "Well, I have this script. What do you think?" He's like,
Okay.
I actually love it because like it's like kaiju, and if you think about Del Toro, it's like kaiju's kind of in his alley of like older style.
Right.
Um, but also when we think of Del Toro, we also think of like a director that is half in the nostalgic game of movies, but also half in like bringing that nostalgia to modern times.
Right.
So even if he does movies that are set in the 50s, he tries to imbue current themes into it, which is interesting. Because like imagine if he were just a nostalgic director who would do movies directly like they were from the 50s or 40s or whatever time he's really into. They would definitely feel dated and out of touch, but he has a way of reinventing it.
Yes.
What do you when you think of Del Toro, it's kind of like in the air that he's in that pantheon of like auteur directors. Do you think of that when you think of him?
I think his ideas are, but like all his movies are kind of like popcorny.
Right.
Like they're just
Mass
like
audience?
a little bit more like not too deep in what they're saying. Like it's not like a marriage story sort of conversations.
Right.
They're just like, you took my cheese
Yeah.
in 1851.
That's a super simplistic way of doing it. But yes, I don't know what you're saying. Yes. That's it?
What was the
question is auteurs.
Oh. With his ideas, I was saying.
It's funny how like you needed like a realignment of like, okay, I lost my train of thought. You have to help me now.
I'm disabled.
Okay, go. Auteurs. Him.
Like, well, who's in his class?
Well, when I think of auteurs, obviously we think of Tarantino, we think of Nolan, we think of Wes Anderson, we think of people like that.
I don't know. These all feel like just big directors now. Like I don't see any of them as like, ooh, he does like like
No, do that. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I don't know. No. Describe that for the people.
Like the little snooty sort of like feeling that's not like that feels a little high end, but
highbrow.
Yeah, like kind of Green Knight area.
Okay.
I think that's a little more like auteur sort of vibe.
Gotcha. So are you saying you don't consider the directors that I mentioned as auteurs?
Well, let's define auteurs.
Auteur, I would say, are directors who also write their own stuff.
Okay.
And they have their own style. And the style can be as basic as Spielberg style, or as weird as like Tar or Kubrick or something. So is Del Toro in that realm?
I just think more are auteurs. Oh.
More are auteurs.
More are auteurs than not. Like the exceptions are Jurassic World 3 director.
Wait, no, Jurassic World. Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Him, like, there's nothing there. I don't feel him at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it's much of a modern problem for us to say like, oh, I don't feel any like. There's no substance in this. I don't know who made this.
Yes.
Like I think a lot of movies these days they're pretty stylish. And
I kind of like agree, except I do have to say that, and I've noticed this too, because like whenever we rank these movies, whenever we rate the movies we talk about, we usually land around the 4, and that's because we usually watch good movies.
Right.
Because we only do one movie a week, and we try to pick the best movie out of all of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you look at it like that, we're kind of being
Cherry
highbrow
picking.
ourselves.
No.
But if you look at the gamut, I would say more likely than not, people don't have style and they're just making regular movies.
But I mean, we watch a lot of movies, even if they're not, even if they are like the best. I
True.
think if we really wanted to whittle it down, it would be like one movie a month, and they would be like the best movie of the month.
Yeah.
But there are movies where it's like, I guess we got to do it.
Right.
Sort
Black
of thing.
Adam.
No, that's not really one of them.
Yeah, Black Adam was so bad, man.
I see what you mean, but not. It's not that
Yeah,
one.
Black Adam, man, made me poop in my pants when I watched it.
Well, that's a personal problem.
Okay.
Tours.
So back to the question though, is your main argument against Del Toro being an auteur is like, well, saying you're an auteur isn't saying much in the current era.
Yeah, I don't like labels anymore. Well, I don't like that. But
what's
it's
your
just
pronouns?
Come on, don't make this political.
Okay, I won't.
But like everything,
Mine's
thing
thing.
one, thing two.
No, it's just thing. I
Oh.
find thing one offensive.
I'm sorry.
Don't give me a number
I'm sorry.
because I'm better than anyone.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What was the?
Auteurs.
Oh,
Again, auteurs.
I think just that board just makes me have horrible memory.
Maybe I can. I kind of we can jump off of that because I kind of get with what you're saying too. But I think if I were to describe or like where should I put him, I would say he's an auteur, but not on the level of a obviously like a Nolan or he's like on the lower rung. He's like if you're in the out of the top 10. No, that's not a good way of saying. If there's like classes of A, B, and C, he's on like a B tier.
Is Nolan A?
Probably. He's like lower A.
What's high A?
High A is probably what's his name? Licorice Pizza.
Paul, Tommy, Andy.
Yeah.
Polly, Tommy, Andy.
It's like the guy that can make a movie and it's always
So auteur is like the director who can make a movie most like themselves, like where it's like, oh, this is
it's just their voice.
Wes Andy.
It's their voice and it's also a good movie. I mean, with the good movie part being less of a criteria than more about their voice.
I think Wes Anderson's the most auteurist, autistic.
Ivan.
Sorry, I feel like the
Auteur
thread-
isn't working for you.
Yes, he's the most auteur director there is.
Okay.
Just because, like, that's the most signature style I've seen in the movies.
What about the Daniels?
But even, like, I guess their style is their comedy, like the humor they bring to the movie. But it's not like
just the craziness, the outlandishness.
But I've only seen like one movie.
Okay.
Wes Anderson's like, oh,
Right.
you just need like a frame, and you know that's him.
Let's jump off of this and say, when all is said and done, what will you think of Del Toro, without thinking about this movie?
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly,
Is he like one of your guys?
nah, bro.
You don't like that kind of
He ain't
stuff?
my boy. He ain't my boy. I think I like his ideas and his imagination.
Yeah.
But like as a director, I feel like it's just like middle. But I haven't seen Pans. I'm sure that's like the best he's ever done.
Yeah.
It's his best in every way.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, it's like they're good, but it doesn't feel anything more than that.
Right.
Like
It doesn't hit you in the funny
Yeah.
spot.
Or like Shape of Water, is that the one?
Yeah.
Like that one was good. It was I liked the idea, but the whole time it's like the same like, oh, you took my cheese sort of dialogue.
Right.
It's just like you expect everything they say,
Yes.
even if you're in it for like the story or whatever.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point where if you think of Del Toro, you're not thinking about like dialogue. I think what he's an expert at is setting a scene, that ambiance, the feeling of being in a specific area,
Mm-hmm.
and usually that's a dark, very dark, musky, sweaty area, dirty as hell. Then he can do that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's that it kind of reminds me of like Burton in a way, where Burton is like in the beginning at least he had this crazy set design.
Yeah.
Who I'm sure like he picked the perfect person for it, and obviously movies are a whole
Team.
yeah effort. So it's interesting where he would lie. For me, I would say he's like
Bottom. Wah, wah.
I feel like I'm always gonna be excited for one of his movies because I love like his style, but it's like I kind of feel the same way you do, where it's never gonna hit me deep enough.
I like the idea of him, but like whenever he releases a movie or I hear about it, like when I heard Pinocchio, I was like, all right, like I don't really want that from you.
Well, that's a good jumping off point. So, what were your expectations, or when you first heard that he was making Pinocchio? That was your reaction?
Yeah, it's just I don't care about like fairy tales like this.
Yeah.
Ones that I know of.
Right.
Like if it's a new one, sure I'll eat that up. But how many Pinocchios have we had? And it just feels too much.
That's a great point because when this was announced, I was kind of extremely confused because there was around 2 other Pinocchios that were trying to be made at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so he's making a Disney Pinocchio. That's cool that Disney's like, oh, let's bring in Del Toro. But no, he's making his own thing through Netflix. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of excited for this, but I'm kind of depressed because there's going to be other Pinocchios and we're going to judge it against it. And what if the other one's good or what if the other one's bad, blah, blah, blah. In any case, I was kind of excited. I had a question here, I think. The original movie, I guess this is a good point to talk about this. The original Pinocchio, the Disney one, 1940. What are your memories with that film?
I never watched it.
You've never watched it? Oh my god!
I know what happens.
Sure, but that's like saying like I know what happens in Back to the Future. I know what happens in.
Was there a live action one?
Yeah, just released.
No.
Tom Hanks.
No.
People hated it.
Just released, actually?
Yeah, like this year.
No, I remember I watched a Pinocchio all the way through, but it wasn't the original.
Yes, live action. I watched the same one.
I don't remember.
It was like a horrible ABC Family one that got like 1-star rating on. I looked it up. I was like, whatever happened to that movie? And like, oh, it was just a horrible movie. That it's because when you're a kid and you watch a movie, it just gets ingrained in your brain, and you're like, oh, it must be a great movie. You grow up like, oh, Space Jam sucked. What? No, it doesn't.
I mean, I never liked that Pinocchio. It's just the one I saw.
Gotcha.
But I always knew the story.
Well, for me, the original Pinocchio was kind of like, I kind of say it has to be somewhat traumatizing if I really think about it, because the whale always terrified me to death.
Origin.
The idea of being swallowed whole by a whale and living in its stomach is so disgusting to me. It's one of like my main fears when I go in the water. Like, I'm not really scared of sharks. I'm more scared of a whale. Like, get that whale out of here, man. That thing can eat me and won't even like chew me. It'll just swallow me. No, hell no.
I'll break out.
Other than that, I thought it was the OG movie was a good movie. Like, kind of super wacky. All Disney early movies were like that. Like, he turns into a donkey, he drinks beer, he hallucinates. It's kind of crazy how movies were back then. And it also makes you think, like, we'll talk about this movie in a bit, but if you're trying to make an adaptation of a Disney movie, you're like, okay, how can I make it different? Make it darker, right? Or make it like edgier.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at like the original Disney movies, they're kind of already pretty dark and edgy. Like, Bambi's mom died. It's kind of like sad. All the original movies are sad.
The edginess of this one is like there's Nazis now.
Yeah. Well, Italian fascist.
I mean,
give or take, same thing. Yeah. No, Ivan, it's time for how to look how the sausage was made, or in this case,
the wood was carved.
How the wood was carved.
Shink, shink, shink.
Since 2008, they've been trying to make this specifically Del Toro. He's been trying to make this movie since 2008. But I feel like it was like a half-assed try. Like, oh, I would love to make it. And he's one of those directors like has 10 projects going at once, and he only makes one every 5 years or something.
Jeez.
But until 2018, it had budget issues where like we need money to make this, and in 2018, Netflix is like, okay, here's the money, And here we go. Art of Pinocchio, or the design of the Pinocchio character, is inspired by, or was made by, this cartoonist called Grimsley. And Del Toro's like, we need that. We need that exact style. And obviously they decided to make this stop motion, which makes it a little bit different. And for Del Toro, he said that this movie, the original movie, had a lot of horror elements
Really?
for him. And it's like, of course he would say that. Like, he sees the horror and everything. And he's like, I want to bring that back into the adaptation I make. So we get this movie, Pinocchio, released on Netflix the beginning of December. Ivan, what'd you think of Pinocchio? He's winding up.
It's good.
Oh, nice. Look at that upside down frown.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah, I liked it. Beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that's something you can expect from Del Toro, is a beautiful movie, and this movie is no different. Obviously there's the stop motion part. There's the darkness about it that Del Toro's bringing, and I think my main takeaway is like, this is how you adapt something that's already been told. Like, if you're gonna remake a movie, remake it with, I guess, the same kind of plot that you would get from the original fairy tale or story.
Yeah.
But just imbue subtle differences.
Right.
And I think that's what he does in this. And it makes you think, like, why don't other people do that? We have Lion King. We have the Pinocchio that released this last year. We have Aladdin. They're all live action and they're all remakes. But there's a chance there to do something super unique, you know? Or even if you don't think it's super unique, if you just add a little bit of your flavor.
Right.
It's crazy to me to think that the movie Aladdin was directed by Guy
Fieri.
I wish. Imagine. Is he the one that goes bam?
Yeah.
Imagine, like, you just hear bam all the time. No, the guy that made
Predator.
What?
Iron Man.
No.
Uh,
Jeez, I'm blanking right now, but it's a director who made like movies with like he made the movie with Brad Pitt where he's like a British.
Snatch.
Yes. It's crazy to me to think that Aladdin was made by that guy, but we still get Aladdin, which is like a Disney corporate machine.
It's the Disney curse. I think they don't understand. Not to sound snooty, but I don't think they understand art in like in a healthy way. They just see like, oh, Aladdin, get director, get actors, remake, redo it again, and then like sell it, and that should be it.
Right.
They're missing like, how about we make this unique in some way?
Right.
They think making it live action is what makes it unique. But we already saw Aladdin. Like, we technically didn't need a remake at all.
I mean, but that's the thing. We'll take the remake. Just give us something.
But Disney is scared now.
Yes.
Just because they need their image to be tip-top, shiny shim.
Tip-top Magoo.
Tip-top Magoo.
And this movie, it's interesting because like the same core plot is there.
Yes.
Exact same core plot.
Yes.
Pinocchio, Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket, Sebastian Cricket this time. They're all there.
Yep.
But the tone shift, the death that's in this movie, the religion aspect of this that's in this movie, the fascism, setting it in Italy, the fact that Pinocchio is like a straight up asshole is amazing. Like, I want my hot chocolate. It's just like, that's all you need to do.
I would want this. I just thought of this, but like, what if they did recruit him for like the military and just go off of that? Like, the trailer is like a trick more than anything.
Okay. Yes.
And then like, oh, just a Pinocchio remake. Like, nah, he turns into a Nazi.
Yeah.
And like he becomes a war machine. Like they give like Iron Pinocchio, but like with wood.
That sounds like a SNL sketch waiting to happen.
I want it.
That's so good. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it is interesting that he does go through this like basically fascist boot camp, Italian fascist boot camp scene or section of the, and it's very episodic the way this movie is set up. But
Mm-hmm.
they do kind of do that. Like they put him in training as a.
But I want like 40 years later, like King Pinocchio, ruler of Earth, and he just has like his wooden army or whatever.
Oh snaps!
Just something different. Like we already know the story. Why
Yeah.
not just do something wildly funny, different, have fun doing it?
I get you, but like one of the cool things about remaking something, and I think Del Toro said this in an interview, is like this is the movie I would want as a kid,
Right.
right? And it's like it's the fairy tale aspect that kids like, but it's also my tone that I like of like people die in this. People are scary in this, right?
Yeah.
And that's this is a good product for kids who are like emo kids.
But like, do these kids even exist?
That's a funny thing. Yeah, that's a good question.
Like, I get the idea, like, oh, make for yourself, make it for your childhood self or
Uh-huh.
whatever. Like, that makes sense. That's how you should create. But I think just things have changed too much where there's that gap of people who lived before the internet and after.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, kids these days are just internet filled. So, I think if he makes this, even if it's true to himself, and usually that would be enough to, like, get an audience.
Yes.
I think the fact that these kids are just in a completely different universe, it makes it hard for this movie to have like a purpose, really.
But there is the kids that are in this different universe that you're speaking of. Netflix still lives in that universe.
I think it's all TikTok.
It's very TikTok, unfortunately. But there's parents that still sit their kids in front of TV and they rather than
Watch
watch a movie.
Pinocchio. His kids die or whatever.
Yeah, they rather than watch a movie than be on TikTok for 2 hours.
But is that even the norm? Like that's the ideal. Ideal.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even ideal, but I mean, who knows? There's billions of kids on this earth. We don't know, or
Yeah.
at least hundreds of.
But with Netflix, it just feels like a drop compared to like what people
sure,
on Netflix actually watch.
yeah,
Like I would want people to make movies that speak to their childhood, but not that you need an audience or not that you need like the fame or anything. It would be nice to have someone have like a visualization of people responding to this. And maybe there is, like I had to dig in Twitter for that subsection of Pinocchio fans.
yep,
But if you're just throwing it on Netflix, I'm imagining I'm Guillermo Del Toro. If I just throw it on Netflix and then I'm like, time to wait to see what everyone likes about it. And but there's no like box office. There's no like theater experience. It's just people like, I guess I'll watch this at lunch tomorrow at work sort of
Right.
thing. So like there's no love that I feel coming from like the audience to him.
So how do you mitigate that? How do you?
I think we're in a cancerous society.
Oh God, here you go.
I just think it's the streaming stuff. Like it's a flaw of it, where especially Netflix, because they're like churn out, ooh Guillermo movie, churn out, ooh Chris Evans action movie, churn out. You know?
This is a criticism we often said, and it's a criticism everyone often says. But I also think that things are probably turning the other way now because these streaming companies are losing a lot of money. Netflix too. So there's definitely like you're gonna get opposite poles of the spectrum as far as like how things go, right?
If this released on HBO, I would have been more excited to watch it. Just Netflix, it devalues everything so much.
True.
Just because I don't trust their taste at all.
True.
More of a Netflix issue then.
When you were saying, I thought you were gonna say a different thing earlier when I told you about like this is the movie that Toro wanted in his life. I thought you were gonna go in this route, but I'll say it now. And it's like, as kids growing up before streaming,
Mm-hmm.
we would consume content from different areas, and we would consume it, and we would gravitate towards the things we liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean those things were necessarily made for us,
Right.
right? So for Guillermo in this example, he gravitated towards dark stuff, but it wasn't dark stuff made for kids a lot of the time. It was dark stuff made for other people. He just liked it.
Right.
So, and for now, I think we're seeing a lot more of like, let's mash up all these things that we like and make it for this kid who we think exists and
Mm-hmm.
who we think would like this
Right.
dark little kid, right? This emo kid. But what if that kid doesn't necessarily exist, and that's just the kid you thought you were? Like, you weren't even that kid, Guillermo.
Mm-hmm.
You were actually a kid who watched like dramas
Mm-hmm.
and like that. You didn't like fairy tales,
Right.
you know? Or you I maybe I'm probably completely wrong. Maybe he did, but I'm trying to say like as kids we consume content from different areas, and maybe that's the best way to do it. Not like hodgepodge everything into this like freakazoid thing and
Mm-hmm.
have people consume it that way.
Okay. What's your point?
I think my point is um
Give me a thesis
this is too specific.
for Guillermo.
Yeah. Like he's like, this is the thing I've always wanted to make, but no one wants what you want. And
Right.
I'm not saying that like I know for sure, because it's not like I know the ratings or anything, or I know like the viewership of this.
Uh-huh.
But it just seems like there's more and more auteurs making specific things, but maybe those things,
Fablemans.
yeah, like
Nobody wants that.
who really wants that?
Malarkey. Oh wow, you had a great childhood.
Yeah.
Good job, Stevie.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Oh god.
I reiterate your thesis. I had something to say.
Maybe
But too specific.
yeah, this is too specific. Maybe no one really wants this.
I think. What do I think?
There's also your point of like people just want to have fun.
Yeah, but even that, like, I would just make stuff for what I want now. Because what I want now is what, like, I actually want. Like, I get as a kid, maybe like, ooh, as a kid, I would want this Star Wars versus Marvel movie.
Oh god.
But like now, I'm like, I don't actually kind of want that at all.
But Del Toro wants this movie.
Yeah, but I think if he wanted that, he should have done like he probably couldn't have it. He couldn't have had it made, but his own story with the same themes he wants. Just because Pinocchio, there's another one coming out, and I know he didn't know it was gonna happen, or maybe he did, but it just if you're like riding on the legacy of things that already have such a legacy, it seems kind of like a waste of time to try to overwrite that. I would rather just write my own thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's like let's say someone approaches me from Marvel and like, you know what? You're
Stop
doing
playing with your leg because you're moving the thing a lot, and I'm scared it's gonna drop off.
if they approach me like, you know what? You get a chance at a DC movie
Mm-hmm.
and you're getting Batman. Like, oh, there's a lot of Batmans, but nobody's done it like how I'm thinking it.
God. And you
Maybe
fall into the trap.
Maybe that's what he was thinking. Like, oh, I get the chance for Pinocchio, but still, even that, like, you have to be very sure you want it.
But he does want it.
But still, maybe I guess a lot of this rides on like if you care, if people respond to it, or if people even watch it. But like, isn't the point? Look, this is safe.
Okay.
Isn't the point? I feel like the point of creating is so other people can experience it too. I get you kind of make it for yourself, but why would you want to be in a hole just drawing your pictures like, ooh, that's nice, put it away? Like, isn't the best part like, look at this and like, oh wow, I relate to this.
Yeah. I mean, part of it should be therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it should be the ability to impact someone else's life and like in a positive way, and you're like, oh, I feel good that it impacted other people.
Mm-hmm.
The part that probably people really go for is like
Fame.
yeah, like
yeah.
all the likes on Twitter and
Right.
Instagram and TikTok. But I don't know. It's a very good point, especially when you think about Guillermo's last movie where kind of bombed in the box office. So not that many people want his work, even though it is good, but I don't know. It's a hard conundrum to solve.
And I think maybe just sometimes, no matter how true your art is to yourself, there will be like a space where people are just not interested.
Yeah.
And maybe he's entering that like space of people not actually caring what he does.
Yeah.
It's pretty cruel. If he watches this, I would probably cry. Like, if I was
Yeah.
him.
I mean, but I care. Like if he makes something, I want to go watch it.
Yeah, but long term, if nobody's watching his movies, like box office wise, and Netflix is going down the pooper, like
what's the future?
yeah, is he just gonna make smaller things?
I mean that has worked. That has worked for our boy M. Night Shyamalan. He went back small and he got back. So maybe that's the way.
We'll see.
We'll see. Back to the movie, stop motion. I really like the stop motion. Like again, if you're gonna make it an adaptation, make it different. He makes it stop motion. Stop motion looks beautiful. Just what's required in stop motion is just insane. Moving the figure a minutia every second. Not even a second. 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second if you want to go crazy. 60 movements for 1 second.
I kind of dislike stop motion because I know how much work goes into it.
I've heard that take.
So I'm like, I think it would be healthier if I didn't watch this, so movies like this stop being made.
But they add so much. Like it feels tangible. Organic.
I think maybe a mix. I guess they already do that.
James and the Giant Peach. That's a mix. Live action and stop motion.
I meant like that and then CGI too.
Oh, gotcha.
Like combine all of it.
Gotcha. What's your favorite stop motion animation film?
What are some?
Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm gonna just name all Henry Selick's movies. Coraline. James and the Giant Peach.
Corpse Bride.
Kubo and the Something Strings. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Frankenweenie, I think.
Frankenweenie.
That's a great name, huh?
I would say either Nightmare or James.
I think mine's James.
I only think that because I never felt like the stop motion took me out of it. I don't know. Maybe if I rewatched it now, I'll be like, oh, I see the work.
Yeah.
So I'm out of this.
Yeah.
But like when I was watching this, I was just looking at it, and it was a little more distracting than. Like I just want to experience it too.
Gotcha.
But also, like, I'm sure they appreciate people looking at the hard work they did.
Yeah.
There's like a million different takes.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy. Did you watch like the documentary about this? Like the 30-minute one that
I hovered over it and then saw like 5 seconds of it, and I saw like, oh, we have a giant head for the cockroach.
Yeah.
For specific scenes.
Right. They showed how they made like the puppets, different puppets, and Pinocchio had like pretty much a watch. He was made of like a bunch of little tiny gears. I'm like, holy shit. And then like the humans' faces, they could move. Like they moved them and they would stay like that. I'm like, dang. I thought it was like a little less easier to make.
Like,
but you literally need like an engineer to make these things. It's crazy.
It's anxiety inducing.
Yeah. Another difference about this movie is the character design, like not just the look of the stop motion, but like the actual look of the movie. Very dirty. All the characters are like dirty, ugly. You also have like the kind of characters you would see in a Del Toro movie, like there's like the Sphinx character, the angel, just like old motifs that he likes,
Mhm.
and you see this in the movie. The music was good. I love the song. Everything is new to me.
I didn't know it was a musical, so I was like, ah.
I got scared because I thought it was like a super musical,
Oh,
and I was like, oh god, I'm glad I'm not watching this with
right.
my lady because she hates musicals. But it wasn't that much.
Yeah, but I was like, oh god, like I don't feel this right now.
Ciao, papa. Also the religion aspect. I love how like Pinocchio is in the church. He looks at the wooden crucifixion, Jesus Christ up there, and he's like, why is everyone like this guy? No one likes me. I'm wooden. Everyone looks at this guy like he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
And just that like naivety, and also the truthness in that. Like, why am I not liked like that?
That would have been like the perfect moment to dive into more like the fascist like aspect if they're going my route.
Okay.
And be like, I need everyone to like me.
Oh.
And then it's like, yeah, his wooden machine gun. Tick, 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 tick.
And you just get hit by a wooden pellet, and you're like,
It's like an acorn.
That's all you got, buddy? The dying, like, death is all over this movie. A bunch of people die in this movie. And that's when, like, the movie came full circle at the end when they just have, like, Geppetto died. Jiminy Cricket died.
The monkey died.
The monkey died. I'm like, come on, Del Toro. You got me right now. Like, if you're going to put this in a kid's movie, you're doing something different.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was I gonna say? Geppetto, death. Oh, I laughed out loud at one scene, and it's when they were the whale scene,
Mm-hmm.
when Geppetto was looking for his son in the ocean, and then they see like the whale coming to eat him whole, and he looks back, and the captain's like, "See ya, sucker," and he just jumps out with like that sea lion kind of jump. I love it. I laughed out loud. That was so good. I have a review for you here, Ivan, by Manolo Dargis, New York Times. I think she's kind of on your side in a bit. Pinocchio is caught between the inhuman and the humans for most of this episodic adventures, which is crucial to his singular mix of charm and menace. That helps explain the durable appeal of Kaleidos' story. Kaleidos is the original writer. It also makes Del Toro and company's decision to set the tale in fascist Italy all the more baffling and disappointing. It's evident that the filmmakers wanted to create a different version altogether and put only more serious Pinocchio than the Disney version. I think I'm reading that incorrectly. But in any case, that has been lodged in the popular imagination for decades. But the movie's decontextualized and disturbingly all considered use of fascism is reductive and finally grotesque. Main point is like, why are you gonna put fascism in it if it's only for decor?
Oh, like there's no commentary on.
Yeah,
I guess, but
and yours is like, I want more fascism. I want Pinocchio to be a dictator.
I guess we did say the same thing.
Ivan, let's review this movie. Out of 5 wooden boys, which sounds disgusting. How many wooden boys is this?
4 wooden boys.
Okay, I accept that.
I think my reviews need like an asterisk, because I think most movies are good.
That's the thing. We watch good movies.
No, hold on.
Yes.
I said hold on.
Fine.
Thank you.
Now you forgot. Watch.
No.
Yeah, you did. Look.
Most movies are good. I'm like super generally.
Super generally?
Super generally. I'm speaking super generally.
That sounds like the store in UTC. Super Dry?
Super generally.
If
it's
you
like
open
where
the
they
store,
have like knickknacks and doodads.
Yeah.
Super dry. Super generally.
Yeah.
All right, you got me.
You forgot.
Look, how was I gonna remember during that?
Okay, sorry. All movies are good.
Oh yeah.
That's like the hottest take you've ever said. All movies are good.
Yeah, I just think like they're like even Jurassic World 3, like in the vacuum, if you didn't watch anything else ever and you just watched that, you're like, I guess that was fun.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You kind of got me there. But
But you can't forget like this
you can't forget all of
History.
history, all of cinema.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
because like I talk to normal people
Okay.
and they don't watch movies that often. Like that's
I
not their
know.
thing.
I know.
So they watch like Jurassic World 3 and they're like, that was fun.
I know. It hurts
But I'm
my
not
heart.
going to be like, no, it wasn't. You're wrong. Because Jurassic World 1 exists, Jurassic Park exists, you know? Like it doesn't make sense to argue that because they're saying the truth that's to themselves. That's true to themselves.
But it's only true to them because they don't know any better. It's like saying Trump's a good guy. Yeah, because all you know is this. Or like the economy is great. Well, actually, gotta educate them. You know,
But I think,
not everything's a fairy tale. You gotta wake them up.
but does the fact that it's been done already better make
You
it
said that
worse?
wrong. Oh,
Does the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
that it's been done better already make the new movie worse?
uh,
I think that's
No.
more of- yeah, that's like an opinion. Like if you hate that, then
no.
it's gonna hurt the score. Like just
That's why you don't like music anymore.
yeah. I like older music.
Got him right there. No, if something's been done already, I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
Just don't make Jurassic World 3 with crickets that are the bad guys.
yeah. But like there's legitimate issues in that movie, but I don't think it's like in a vacuum fair to say that was like a 3 out of 5. Even though that's probably what I gave it. Or no, I probably gave it a 1, I think.
Yeah, it was probably our lower score. I don't know. I think like the main issues is just believability, and him going like this to stop a raptor is ludicrous.
Never know.
Man, it's so infuriating.
Thesis is there's no way to be objective. Is that subjective? Objective of like the review of any movie, because everything's like your relationship to it, your
Yeah.
history, your own personal history, what your own tastes are.
Yes.
You could say like, oh, that was a technically well done pan shot, but that's only like an aspect.
Oh, like, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
like just technical stuff. Like that doesn't
Yes.
really matter.
Yeah, this is gonna come to a head later when in a couple shows when we do
Avatar.
best movies of the year.
Oh.
Because I'm gonna ask you what are the best movies of the year and what are your favorite movies of the year, and those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. Something vacuums exist, or more so they don't exist.
Yeah.
So you have to take everything with all the information you ever gathered in your computer head. But
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Learning a lot these days.
We are. I give this movie a 4.25 Wooden Boys. I had fun. I love.
We them boys.
Huh?
Wooden boys.
Dung. Dung. We them boys. Wait, is that all they said?
we them boys.
Dang. Back when Wiz was the guy,
A while ago.
I just saw a trailer with him in a movie, and the movie looks so bad. And he's supposed to be like in something.
Clint Eastwood.
No, the funk legend Parliament. I don't know.
Whatever.
I bet next week we're gonna do the movie we've kind of been waiting for.
All our lives.
Avatar: Way of Water.
Yeah. I don't know.
I kind of hope they give us like, remember in Waterboy when I think her name's Vicky gives Water Boy a little vial of Antarctic water that's glowing blue. I want that as like a little trinket that they give us when we go watch Avatar: Way of Water, like a little blue vial of
water,
super blue water.
It's just like vodka or something.
Yeah. You excited?
Yeah.
Expectations?
Beautiful.
I heard it's like really good, so.
I'm at the point. I'm just thinking like the plot's gonna be basic.
Yeah.
But like way more basic than it should be. Like with the criticism he got from the last one, it's criminal how basic I feel like this plot will be.
So he's gonna double down on his basicness. You're
Pretty
saying?
much. I'm thinking that.
No. I don't think so.
I think so.
It's 3 hours. I'm gonna be so tired after this.
It's like,
yeah.
but it'll be beautiful.
Give me a pre-rating of Avatar: Way of Water.
3.75.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 4.5. I'm gonna go like Top Gun route. Like it's gonna be like that.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of can't because it's 3 hours. So I'm gonna be too tired.
The thing I'm most worried about is I know he has kids in the movie now.
Yeah.
I'm tired of like that dynamic of like, you gotta be you.
Oh.
You don't, it doesn't matter if I was a human before. You're a Navi. You know? And I feel like if I see anything like that, I'll be like,
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's probably gonna be a 4. You're right. Ivan, it's time for a section we'd like to call
things and such.
James Gunn is coming in, and he's like the guy from 300 that just knocks down the door, and he's like, "You're dead. You're dead. You're dead." Henry Cavill's out. He's like, "I'm gonna write a whole new Superman, and my boy Henry, he's not in it. I need something new. What do you think?" Hot take, go.
This better be one hell of a Superman you're making.
Whoa.
One hell of a Superman.
Why?
Henry Cavill was pretty perfect at his best. There's like...
Wait. Let's dissect that sentence. He was pretty perfect at his best? Isn't that like a conundrum? Yeah. Like a double entendre or whatever they call it?
Because he was given some bad direction, dialogue. He wasn't... There's moments in like Man of Steel where I was like, oh, this is him. But overall, he isn't like that hopeful Boy Scout, like America sort of dream
Optimistic.
that Superman usually is. But he was just starting, so I was like, okay, you get that. Then Snyder like twice made him like dark, evil both times, and then he was like literally a bad guy for 10 minutes in one movie.
Never do that.
We've never had Superman.
Yeah, you have.
With Henry.
Gotcha. Without Snyder.
Yeah. Like, I mean, at the end of Black Adam, that was the most I've seen. I was like, oh, he finally.
Like, this is great.
We finally got Superman, I guess. But there's like flecks of like that optimism, but it was not enough for what Superman is.
Listen.
Hey.
If Gunn's going to if he's going to write a Superman and probably going to direct it too, this is the same guy that made Scooby-Doo. Count me in.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Where are you?
If the guy that made Scooby-Doo is making Superman, I'm in.
I mean,
like, you know, he's going to make something weird.
I just hope it's good. Like, he did really well. He did really well with Suicide Squad.
Uh-huh.
Like, that felt like, oh, this is the comic in movie form.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't really read too much Marvel, but
Marvel boy over here.
But that feeling is pretty rare for comic book movies for me. Usually
Yes.
it just feels like it has the character, but it's not exactly 100%. I mean, Black Adam, he should have been darker. He should have been more evil.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
But so much fun. we'll see what he does. But I don't know why you can't just keep him. Maybe it's like 3 years you're gonna be kind of old. I'd rather have someone young.
Yeah, the movie is supposed to be like in the, because he wants to redo it. So if you want to redo the story, you don't want
The whole thing.
the whole backstory of this
But
guy.
still, it's like I think we're smart enough now where we could see.
We've seen it enough. We'll
like,
take however it comes.
Yeah, like, are people gonna see Henry Cavill and be like, "Oh, there are gonna be the people." I guess people are stupid sometimes, but I think don't pander to the stupid people. Just how about he's still good? Why not just keep him? Is it that big of an issue? And we got Batman, and then people are already confused with Joker existing. Like, it's already a mess, technically. Why not just keep it all messy and then just make good movies?
It's not gonna happen, Ivan.
Whatever, man. You don't know. You don't know shit.
Batman. That, can you believe that came out this year?
This year?
Yeah. Wait, did it?
I don't know. I think it was the end of last year.
It did. No, it came out in February or something.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
It already feels classic. Hasn't even been a year.
Was that your number one movie when we did like our midway through July top movie?
It better have been, or else I'm gonna kill my past self.
Yeah, you should. Ari Aster released a poster for his new movie. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Creepy looking.
Ari and Joaquin. It's gonna be a sight.
I think Joaquin's playing like motion capture of a little boy, right?
Really?
I have a feeling it's that.
So like Planet of the Apes sort of deal, but with a boy.
Ari is such a mastermind. He's so good.
That'd be kind of crazy, just because like Alita, Battle Angel.
Yeah.
I watched that and I was like, this girl's kind of creepy. I don't really like looking at her.
Yeah.
But if he uses that like to make it creepy,
Yeah.
that would be sick.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like, how crazy. That's like a crazy thing you can do now, because like the whole thing is, let's not subject kids to like weird actors, right? And like put them through psychological damage at a kid.
Like
so
Blonde.
You get like Leo and cast him as like as like a little kid and have him act his ass off.
Leo is a toddler in Boss Baby 3.
That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
There's something there with technology.
Yeah. I'm thinking of what's the guy who played Caesar?
Oh yeah.
Him.
Circus.
Yeah, Andy Serkis. He's just like, guess I'm playing kids now. Got this toddler role coming up.
I'm a 5-year-old who kills people.
Guess that's my life.
Because the parents don't want to subject a 5-year-old for that. Makes sense. New movie coming out called 65, where Adam Driver goes back 65 million years and kills dinosaurs.
I was annoyed because like I didn't know anything about it, and the trailer gave away all of it.
Yeah.
Like halfway through, it was like Planet of the Apes, the original, when they find out like,
yeah,
you blew it up,
right?
But they put that in the trailer. Like that should have been the reveal. Yeah. Unless there's another one, but even then,
I'm trying to remember. I read a hilarious Reddit comment that said like how they pitched this. Oh no, like so in history class when they teach us about how the dinosaurs went extinct. Oh, it makes sense. Adam Driver just went back in time and killed all the dinosaurs.
I see it.
This is kind of a dirty subject, but we're gonna get into it.
Doity.
Megan Thee Stallion and YSL.
Real dirty.
Actually, let's put that to really be bussin'.
That's kind of
the tease right there.
Disrespectful. But
We'll put that later in the podcast. Ivan, it's time for a section called "What's on the Telly."
Dripping.
Put the podcast way closer. What are you doing? Come on.
Slow dripping, Mr. Robot. It's a heavy show. I thought I could go through it faster, but it's just like it's heavy, and each episode is I don't know. It's heavy. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
Is it still good?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I watched. You know what I watched today? Banshees of Inisherin.
I heard that's good.
It's good.
Funny.
Funny.
Spine tinglingly funny.
No.
Oh.
Like funny and like the most basic premise that makes it even more hilarious.
Theater
HBO Max. The basic premise is, do you know it?
No.
Basically like two best friends, and all of a sudden one day, one of the friends doesn't want to be friends with the other guy anymore.
That's funny.
And he's like, "Why do you want to be friends with me?" And he's like, "'Cause you're boring." And then it just goes from there.
I gotta watch that.
It just goes from there, and it's like dialogue, and there's some action, and it's interesting.
I'll keep an eye out.
I would recommend it. World Cup, we got France and Argentina.
They're getting more perfectly wet with practice.
Yeah, they are.
Argentina.
interesting.
I hope Argentina wins,
Yeah, me too.
but I don't care.
Only because of Messi.
Messi, Messi, Messi,
Why do you do that?
Messi, Messi,
That doesn't even make any sense.
Messi.
I've been slowly like watching bits of Harry Potter, and I went to the library and I ordered. I didn't order. I checked out Roald Dahl books.
Oh, okay.
Just like trying to understand like the basic plots.
Want to learn how to read? Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how to read, so I got these books. I heard they're easy.
And it's just like essentially like hero tale. But what makes these guys and J.K. Rowling like so? How did they impact the culture so badly?
Right.
Obviously in a good way. And then I've been reading Dune Messiah, the second book.
Ooh.
Interesting. I like where it's going. And I've been listening to audiobook. Doesn't really matter. Ivan, is that all for what you've been watching?
I've been watching clips of The Office on YouTube a lot.
Waste of your time.
It's funny. It's a formative show for me, you know.
Yeah, no wonder. I mean,
It's good. It's good.
clips.
Clips? Oh. So I didn't want to get I got Peacock, but the interface is really ugly. Like it's bad. It's not
Yeah, it is.
easy to use. And then I didn't feel like watching all of it because it's
Right.
like 8 seasons, 20 episodes each. So I just watched like best gym moments, best pranks. And it's working, buddy. It's fun.
I mean, there's worse things you could do. You know?
Italian.
It's time for a section called "Really Be Bussin'." No.
Oh.
We'll leave them for last. One album came out that is worth noting. SZA's album.
Didn't listen.
It's pretty good.
Heard.
Thought you didn't listen. She is, without reviewing the album, which is good, but I need time to really listen to it. She is doing what Drake. She's doing the female Drake, but with more
Art.
honesty, yeah, and heart.
Okay.
Like she raps on this album, and like, you go, girl. And she's a player, but she's also gets played,
Uh-huh.
and she admits it. And that's like the OG Drake.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, she doesn't go into new Drake where she makes a album with like, what's that new girl? Glorilla.
I don't know.
It's crazy, like all these names. You're like, that exists. But yeah, this is a good album. Recommend it. You would like it. Oh, come on. You would like it.
I'm sure it's good, but
It's like a Drake album, but better.
I don't even feel like rap.
But it's not rap
I
like
don't
that.
I was never. I don't want to. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable.
Comfortable is the worst thing you could be. You have to be uncomfortable.
I am uncomfortable.
Megan Thee Stallion, and then we'll jump into YSL. So essentially, the Megan Thee Stallion case versus
Tory Lanez.
is very messy, and like it looks like there's not gonna be a
Messy.
there's not good pull. There's not gonna be a clear like he did it, she did it type of thing.
Which is like, didn't their feet get shot? Literally, like, where's the?
I don't know. I don't know enough about that.
Can't they just look like, oh yeah, there is bullets in there? Tori, you did this.
And it's gonna be bad. It's already bad for everyone involved, and it's what the verdict happens to be is gonna be bad for whoever goes towards. And it's kind of like the epitome of what's wrong with these people, you know? Because like there's the aspect of like going for fame and going for notoriety, and it's very ugly. It's very ugly. And then jumping over to YSL, and like I finally looked into it. Like when I heard about it, I was like, oh god, I didn't want to read it because it's kind of depressing. But essentially, YSL is a record label, but they seemingly operate as a gang because of its all of the members. Well, I shouldn't say all of the members, but some of the members commit criminal activities, and they're all repping YSL.
Right.
And then there's like the fact that leaders or executives of YSL order certain things for them to do. So it's like essentially a gang.
Yeah.
And it's just so messy. And it's like the being caught in the cycle of criminality and not being able to get out. And it's something that happens so often that it's like, it's obviously something is wrong.
Yeah.
And they need a fix.
Permanent.
But I think, and it also makes me think of Kanye when, because like they were talking about how people still fall into the trap of signing for records, record labels, and being screwed over by the record label. And no one ever says like, hey, youngin, don't do this.
Yeah.
Hey, Fetty Wap, don't give all your rights over to 300 Entertainment, whatever.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me appreciate Kanye for like bringing some light to it, even though his light is kind of like a atomic bomb light where it destroys everything.
Yeah.
But we need more people that discuss this, you know, out in the open and be like, you can just be independent.
Yeah. It'll happen. I think it's just time, independent wise. Not, I don't know about the gang stuff. Probably go in jail.
And for the independent stuff, I think everyone can be independent, but there's a lot of work that goes behind that because then you need to hire everyone.
Yeah. I think a lot of work has been missing from rap. I think a lot of them are like, well, I can rap. And that's like the skill they have. They don't think about, should I learn marketing? Should I learn like how social media works? Should I learn all the like the stuff that like people have other people for? Like Taylor has people for all these. But if you're starting off, you're going to have to put in the work to do it all yourself.
Yes.
But these rappers are like, well, I'm about to get signed. I'm in. Like, that's it. They don't think long term at all.
Right. Yeah.
Which is the worst.
I think rap is in a very precarious spot right now because what's happening in Atlanta is what happened in New York. And when it happened in New York, basically the law interfered with rap because of how crazy it was getting. When that happened, New York music died. And now the same thing's happening, or it's going to happen in Atlanta, where you even see it with Lil Baby's last album, which kind of sucked, which is the hypothesis is it sucked because he can't rap about what he used to rap about.
Yep.
And if that happens in Atlanta, which is like the main hub of new music, that it's kind of good because it's where there's a lack in art, another demographic can grow. And maybe that's what you've been predicting or hoping
Wanting.
for. Yeah.
Put them all in jail.
But
That's
I
my
heard,
dream.
I heard LA is like becoming what Atlanta is. Like
Oh my
just the criminal enterprise of everything. So maybe
doesn't end.
maybe you can't beat this.
Yeah, I'm on the side of I think it's because I don't have any like stake in anything, but I'm on the side of how about we just let it die, like Atlanta. Like I've seen people say, Atlanta music is dying, but if a criminal element was needed, then it was gonna happen no matter what. And I don't even blame them because it's like their upbringing. They don't know any other sort of life. So it's like they're stuck committing these criminal acts and then making music.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it is what it is, literally. Right. If like they're going to get tired of it eventually and they're going to act on it. And it just so happens all these rappers are also part-time criminals.
I think I've said this before, but you're getting old, aka
You're getting wise.
You're getting mature, and you're realizing that hip hop is kind of a negative force, as a wholesome.
But like, what's a rapper that's positive? That's good. Like, is raps just?
You mean like a pop rapper? That's
yeah.
good. That's wholesome.
Yeah. Like, is rap all around a sin?
I guess Kendrick.
Yeah.
And J. Cole.
Well,
I haven't stopped it. You're being disrespectful.
yeah. But even them, it's like I don't know about J. Cole so much, but Kendrick, he made his life on gang life. Like, if he didn't have that, he wouldn't have been who he is. He doesn't really rap about that today, but he had his history, and that made him have fame.
Are you saying that he shouldn't have got famous? He shouldn't have.
Whoa.
He shouldn't have succeeded.
Oh no, but it just there's like an unethical aspect to everything.
But
specifically rap.
No.
What do you mean?
Everything's unethical.
No. Me?
Look how much light we're using.
I thought this was natural.
I know where you're going, but I think if like I want to say repent, but if you try to make good,
right?
Like I see a lot of like the older rappers now are like Rick Ross or Jeezy. They're like doing
food
different
drives.
things now, right? They're doing food drives, right? They're doing different businesses.
They survived long enough to like wise up,
right? Exactly, but what should be done is like they should have done that while they were coming up, and their message should have been positivity, and that's why people like Kanye should be appreciated for all of the positivity he did when he was making music. At least his impactful music. I
think if Kanye was like had some grasp of his mental health, he would have been like if he focused everything on good music and then really actually brought people up and brought music forward, or just have that, music would be in a way better place because he has taste. He knows things sound good. It just he wants to do everything, and then he's mentally unwell, and it just ruined everything.
Yeah, the savior got corrupted by fame and left the art to die.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of depressing, huh? All right. That's it for Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be back next week with Avatar Way of Water. It's going to be a good one. Probably going to watch it twice. 6 hours of my life gone. Ivan, any parting words for the beautiful people?
No.
Well, that's it. Peace out.
Bye.